quick announcements for things that we have coming up. On the 23rd, I think it's the 23rd, Eva and Megan are doing a animal flow and meditation. So remember, that's not animal flow, like branded animal flow. It's just like, oh, you get like cards, learn about what the different animals represent. You have like your meditation within one of those, and then some movement based on the animal energies. So it's a lot of fun looking at that kind of stuff, the same way you look at like the chakras or the energies that come from things like your astrological sign, what have you. So lots of fun. It's like a morning class, 10 to 12, so 2 hours to get here for that. We have a beginner series and a kids series starting up as well. And then last night we had the first of 4 classes called Am I Doing This Right? Where yesterday we looked at the standing poses, some of the stuff that you get in the standing poses, get an experience of it. There'll be one on seated poses, forward folds, arm balances, and those are all being scheduled because they're in tandem with our yoga teacher training. So, great place to ask questions, get an idea of what's happening, kind of for me to reiterate a lot of what I tell you in here, but just like playing with it more and more. So, if there's other stuff that you're like, oh wow, I would really like to know about these things more, let us know. Like Susan wants to do one for aerial yoga. Am I doing this right? So if you're coming to aerial classes, you're like, oh, I want to know more. Maybe you hook one up at home. So we'll be looking at those things coming up in the future. I'm doing a hands-on assist workshop for our yoga teachers, for our already teachers, in March. And there's one more of those opportunities at our reduced rate before we have our first 5 and then it goes up. So if you are a teacher and want to learn more, I'll show you how to do it, how I do it, explain why and how. Or if you're a student and you're like, man, I take these other people's classes and they never touch me, tell them to come. So then they'll know, because they just might not know. And they might think, well, you don't care. So they don't really want me to touch them. And maybe you do. So if you tell them, then they can come. Like, Crimson Workshop, hands-on says, you should take it. Because I would like you to touch me more. Okay? So those things are coming up. Check them out. Do them. There's a hot hit workshop that's starting in October with Mark. So that's going to be over in the lower room. And it's not yoga. It's a hot hit class. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up. And Derek, who's at the desk now, is doing a class called Strengthening as You Age. And he offers it twice a week. So there's like a Monday morning and then I think a Wednesday evening option for that. So I told him, he like came and was like, sent out his picture and he's like got his like thing on and his bandana. I was like, you look super tough. You're probably scaring everybody away. So he was like, well, I like to work with all different people and I wanted to help people feel strong and move better. I'm like, cool, let's try this one. So more band and body weight based. So if you have interest in that, check it out. Otherwise, we will get started today. So I'm gonna have you guys start in child's pose. So knees apart or knees together, that's totally up to you. But your butt goes back towards your hips as much as you can, those arms stretch out nice and long. Forehead down towards the floor, and you give it a little like rock on that third eye space. The fall is one of my absolute favorite times of year. I feel like all the craziness of the summer starts to slow down. Kids start to get back into a rhythm at school. This is my like planning time. Fall's where we put the work in for the things that we want to happen in the spring and summer. We give ourselves this opportunity to make it really clear what it is that we're calling into our lives. Because whether you realize it or not, you're calling something. In yoga, we practice bringing together the body, the mind, the spirit. We slow the fluctuations of the mind by focusing in this present moment, our attention on the breath. The quieter you can become in your mind, the slower you can make those thoughts roll in, the better you get at that. The easier it is to see what it is that you're moving towards. It's easier to make corrections on that course. So this morning, with that forehead down on the mat, without it being able to see anybody else, worry about anybody else. What is it that you want from your time? And then turning your palms up towards the sky. And you offer your efforts away. That they might have what they need. Turning those palms back down towards the floor. On an inhale, rising up, hands and knees, tabletop position. Good, from tabletop position, spread those fingers nice and wide. Make a few circles, shoulders over the wrists. First in one direction. 3, 2, and 1. Reverse, circle those shoulders over the wrists, opposite direction. 3, 2, and 1. Back to center, right fingers turn back towards the knee. Left fingers turn back towards the knee. Good, keep that upper back lifted, shoulder blades away from each other, maybe a little bend in your elbows. Good, and then back through center, the right hand, and then the left hand. With that weight staying forward into your hands, see if you can lift the fingers up off the floor. And then back down. Good, lean forward into the palms. And then lift the fingers up without leaning back. And down. And one more time, lean forward into those fingers. Now super straight, lift the fingers up. And then back down. Good, now with the weight staying into the hands, see if you can peel those palms up off the floor, fingers stay down. And then lower them back down onto the floor. And then again, press down, rise up onto the fingers. And then down into the floor, those knuckles stay down. One more time, pressing down, rise up. And then releasing it back down. Turn those palms now to face your face. So the backs of the hands go down, fingers face in. Squeeze the fingers. The knuckles, the thumbs over the top. And then spread it out. Widen down. Good, and then again, squeezing fingers. Thumbs pull in. And then widen down. Good, keeping those arms super straight. One more time, big squeeze in. Fingers. Knuckles, peel up. And then spread them wide and down. Good, and then turn those hands back over. Walk them a little bit forward. 3 big circles, hips all the way back towards your heel. And then out over your hands, keeping those arms nice and straight for 3. 2. And 1, reversing opposite direction for 3. 2. And 1. Good, round those palms down, tuck the toes, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Good, in your downward facing dog today, you can pedal out on the feet, wag your tail. Maybe you shake your head, yes or no, with the shoulder. As you press strongly through the right hand, take your left hand and reach for your right shin, ankle, heel, wherever you can reach for. Looking underneath that right armpit, turning the body. Strong in your arms. Good, and then back to center, both hands down. Press strongly through the left hand, take the right hand, reach back. Ankle, shin, heel, I don't know, whatever you got. Turning to look underneath that left armpit, rotate. And then back to center. Walk your hands back towards your feet, coming into a forward fold at the back of the mat. Fingers around your elbows, shin into your chest, hanging in a ragdoll. Keeping those feet consistent or a little wider apart. The back of the neck get long. Maybe those legs straighten or maybe not. But we want to keep the stretch in the hamstrings so your belly and your thighs stay connected. Maybe those knees pull apart a little bit. Find a little bit more engagement in your stretch. Good, release those hands back down onto the floor, walk it back out, downward facing dog. So the yoga term for the top of the discipline of your practice. We find that in the sun salutations, the work that we do here, the repetition. So we're working towards finding the lightest sun salutations that you can find. That your belly stays engaged, that your arms and legs stay active and strong. On an inhale, look forward between your hands. As you exhale, walk, step, jump, float, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Keep those arms up, overhead, up back, onto the top. Exhale and forward fold, hands to the earth. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Ground in the palm, step, jump, walk, look back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Good. In this sun salutation, could you walk your feet in just like 6 inches, just forward towards your hands, about 6 inches. Feet come forward. Walk them in towards your hands. Good. Now, pressing those fingers down to the floor. Can you put your palms up off the ground? Like we did on the tabletop. And then back down to the floor. So knuckles stay down. Just peel your palms up. Push down. Rise up. Knuckles stay on the floor. Just the palms lift. Lift up. And down. Good again. Up. Just the palms lift. And down. Good, and one more time. Push down with those palms up. And lower back down. Brilliant. Now, activating those fingers. Bend your knees. Look forward to your hands. Jump as slowly as you can so you like, belly pull and get to the top of you. Yes. Now those hands still press down into the floor. And you lean again into the fingers. So you're keeping that weight forward into the hands. Take the left foot, try to lift it up and tap your left foot and then put it back down the floor. And then lean forward into your fingers and pick the right foot up and try to tap your forearm as high up as you can. And back to the floor. Good. And we're just practicing just like pushing down and setting the belly down. And pushing down and setting the belly up so those toes come up. 2 more times on each side. Tap into the floor. Keep those palms down. Tap. You gotta push down. I know the palm wants to lift, but if you're jumping forward and you bring those palms off the floor, that's gonna be like a really difficult arm balance. Yes. On the fingers. One more time. Tap. Hands stay down. Tap. Push down. Butt goes up. And
As soon as I was moving, my foot just was back.
yeah. Good. Flexors, right? But good. Hang. Top of the mat. Fingers around your elbow. Right dog. You squeeze your hip bone and your thigh bone together so that your belly is like pulled down off the legs. Good. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. Arms up, overhead, big back bend. And back to center. Inhale, both arms reach up towards the sky. Find that back bend. Stretch back. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, palms down. Just palms down. Don't go anywhere yet. Maybe your hands have to walk a little forward. That's okay. But there's weight in your hands. But now bend your elbows and come up on your tippy toes. But when your elbows bend, they don't go back. I want your body to go forward, your head to go forward. So when I hands are down, I can bend my elbows so that my elbows go down to the floor. But I don't want that one. I want the elbows to bend and my body weight comes forward. Like my face is gonna come crashing towards the floor. Pause there. Find the biggest bend in your elbow and the farthest lean forward that you can hold. Bend your elbows a lot. Come on. Bend them forward, bend them forward, bend them forward. Step 1 foot back. Hold there. Big bend in your elbows, body weights forward into those fingers. The biggest bend in your elbows you can, but forward. Yes. And then the other foot steps back. Now you're in Chaturanga Dandasana because your elbows are already bent, right? Oh my God. And then back to downward facing dog. Look forward. Jump those feet, pop them up. I know, right? So good. Inhale, half foot. Exhale and forward. Round those palms down.
press them into the floor. Maybe you have to walk them forward a little bit, that's okay, walk your feet back a little bit. Get the weight in your hands. Good, now, lean into your fingers and bend your elbows as best you can. Just stay there. Body weight moving forward. Good, the elbows are bent. Bend your elbows. More. Body weight comes forward. Forward. Shoulders, elbows squeeze in. This is like chaturanga, squeeze those elbows. Good, step one, put the other foot back. Whatever one you did last time. Bend those elbows a lot. So you're gonna be in chaturanga when that other one goes forward. Bend. Good, now step it back. So you're already in chaturanga, yes, elbows are bent. You're holding that. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, forward, plank position. So now you're in plank, your shoulders are over your forearms. Good. From that position, your body weight goes forward. Your elbows hug in and lower down, chaturanga dandasana. And I want that elbow to stay right in line. Pause. Squeezing it in. Inhale, lift upward facing dog. Let's all forward, shoulders together, down the back, low belly pulling in. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Hence the warm up on the wrists, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
lie down, we're done. Is this bird supposed to not fall on?
Now, you should right over. Push off. Good. Take your right leg, lift it up in the air. Lay it down. Just lift your arm. Hips are even. Good. Press the left heel down. And then squeeze your butt cheek to lift that leg up as high as you can. Just butt cheek. Belly pulls in. Good. Now, bring that knee to your nose as you round forward, plank position. Hold. And then send it back, three-legged down dog. Good, and then again, knee comes to the nose, round the spinal lock, push the ground. Amazing, send it back. Last time, pull it in, really good. And then step the foot between your hands. Whew. Good, inhale, rise up, high lunge, up onto the tippy toes of the back foot. Good, so with that back heel, lift it up as high as you can. Right? I could like sink back in my lunge and be like back towards my heel's almost to the floor. I want you to come forward into the front leg. And then bend the back knee almost to the floor. And then straighten it back up. These are the up and down ones. The front leg, I'm pressing the outer edge of my heel down into the floor. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hold it down, just hover off the floor with your hand. Reach those arms up and back as best you can for 5. As big of a back bend as you like. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands down. Half step the back foot in, straight in the front leg. Forward folding over that straight leg. Your back thigh rolls in, your front leg rolls back. And your belly stays nice and strong. Good, bring those hands down onto the floor or the blocks, and then take the left hand outside the right foot. Right hand to your right hip. Turn your chest to face the right wall. Breathe. How long can you make your spine? Arch your back a bit. And then maybe that right arm goes up to the sky. 3, 2,
bringing that right hand back down, frame the foot, step it back, plank position. Super far forward into those fingertips. Chaturanga Dandasana and hold, shoulder down. Inhale, lift upward facing dog to a tall pose. Exhale back. Down into dog. Left leg up into the air, three-legged down dog. Hips even. Squeeze your butt to lift that left leg. Good. All the while that standing leg rolls out. Good. Just fix your hips. Good. Keep this. And then squeeze that back leg. Lift it up higher. From your butt cheek. Good. Bring that knee into your nose as you come forward, plank off the back. Good. And then up and back. Three-legged down. Good. And again. Forward. And then up and back, nice and long. Squeeze the butt to lift the leg, keeping those hips even. Back side rolls. In, even more. In, even more. In. Woo. Same leg rolls out. Yes. Squeeze and lift from the back of that butt cheek. Good. Knee to the nose. Bring it forward. And then place it down. Inhale and rise up and high level on this side. Get on the tippy toes of that back foot. So the weight comes forward into the front leg. Take that right knee almost to the floor. And then back up. And then almost to the floor, slow. And then press it back. 2. Almost to the floor. Press it up. 3. Almost to the floor. Press it. 5. Now almost to the floor and stay. These muscles. Brother, I can see them all. I can name them, right? Gastroc, soleus, fibularis, tibialis anterior. Like I've seen them popping like crazy in those calves. As back bendy as you would like this to be. Good. The hands come down and frame the front. Look back foot steps halfway. The both legs are straight. So the front thigh rolls out and the back thigh rolls in. And that should kind of make your butt face the back of the room. And if your legs are in like a tightrope, then your hips are gonna be like angled. So see if you can get them on train tracks. Right foot to the right, left foot to the left. And then we're coming out over that front foot, right in the middle. Good, and the hands on the blocks or on the floor. And the right hand goes outside the left foot now. And the left hand comes to the left hip. You get as big and long in your chest as you can. And then that left arm reaches up towards the sky, maybe big. You find those inner thighs squeezing in, stabilizing, making your belly strong. And your left hand comes down towards the floor, and you rebend into that left knee, grab those palms down and step back. That's plank position. Press forward, off your toes, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, lift, upward facing up. And then exhale back, down facing up. Good, right leg up in the air, keep it down low. This time bend the knee and open your hip. So you're stacking the right hip on top of the left and squeeze your heel to your butt a lot. Good, now bring the right foot between your hands as silently as you can.
Like not thud it, don't like thud it, but like release it there. And those hands press down into the floor or onto 2 blocks. Now, pressing down through your hands and pulling your belly in and up. I want you to jump and switch your feet as silently as you can. Yeah, push down, switch your feet, and jump as silently as you can. You have 30 seconds. I don't care if you do 3 or 30 or 60. I want them to be as light as you can. I don't want the website company below us to hear you want this, okay? Because they get mad and they call and they're like, come in. It's so noisy in there. What's going on? It sounds like I heard elephants traveling across the floor. For 3, 2, and 1. End with your right foot forward. Good. Lower the left knee down. You're gonna come down inside that right leg. So you can bring your forearms down to the floor. Your chest down towards the floor. Pressing those hips towards the ground. Chest towards the ground. And if you feel like, oh, I'm in a good spot, and yet like a little more, reach back with that left leg. And then pressing yourself back up, tall, high on your hands. Tuck the back toes under, take your right arm under your right leg. Right arm under your right leg, yep. And then tucking the back toes under, if they're not already, you're gonna try to lift the back knee up. If it's not already, lift it up. Okay, now, squeeze your thighs in towards the center. And then see if you can get your hands to go out to the side and maybe lift them up off the ground. Now, if you're holding this with a bind, make sure your butt's not facing the side wall. Turn it to face the back wall again. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring those hands down the floor. Keep that hand outside the knee. Lean forward into your hands. Straighten that right leg out in front of you as best you can. Lean forward into your hands. And see if you can squeeze your butt cheek and lift your left leg off the ground. Your left elbow will come into your belly. Good, hold for 3. Just pull that left elbow in. Pull that left elbow in a lot. It's gotta squeeze. Yes, 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 yes. And lift the back leg. Lift it. Squeeze your butt. 1, good. Up. Set it down. Down dog or child pose. Take your breath. Good. Coming back, downward facing dog, left leg up in the air. Feel like a down dog.
Bend the knee over the hip. Squeeze that heel to your butt. And stab that left foot silently between your hands. Palms stay down. So as you're jumping and switching the legs this time, as silently as you can, those hips should not like boom, collapse to the floor. The idea is I want you to practice keeping your butt up and your belly in. 30 seconds. Again, do as many of them or as few of them as you like. I just want to see you land quietly. Look for air time. Don't let those hips land towards the floor. Yes, that's it. Keep the legs squeezing in. Arms pushing down. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. Good. Left foot is forward. Good. Right knee lowers down. Good. Move that left foot out to the left side. You're gonna soften down inside the left leg this time. It's as difficult as you make it. It's as deep as you make it. It's as engaged as you make it. It's your time. What do you want? And pressing yourself back up. Tuck the back toes under. Left arm slides underneath the left leg. You can lift that knee up. And then the inner thighs squeeze in towards each other. Maybe you take those arms behind your back. And if your butt is facing the side of the room, turn it to face the back of the room. So you find that inner thigh squeeze. Good, and bring those hands back down. Good, stay there. Now you're going to shift the weight into your hand. Hug your elbows into the center. And straighten that left leg out. In front of you, circle, wiggle it forward. Elbows squeeze in. Lean forward, forward, forward into those fingers. And squeeze your butt cheek to lift now the right leg up off the ground. Squeeze your butt and lift. And 1. That's a that. Child pose. Regardless.
Good, grounding your palms down onto the floor. Tuck your toes under the drips to the sky, downward facing dog. Fingers gripping into the floor. Walk the feet forward about 6 inches. Take them a little wider than hips distance apart. Bend your knees and see if you can jump wide of your hands to the top of the mat. Good. Awesome. Sit your butt down. Vinyasa squat. Hands at heart center. Chest tall. So we're only sitting as deeply as you can keep the heels on the floor. Good. Now, from this position, I want you to squeeze your knees into your arms and push your arms into your knees so you get both. Elbows pressing, knees squeezing. Good. Now keeping the hand squeezing. Take the right hand and pull it away from your right elbow. And then back to the center. And then take your left hand, pull it away from your elbow. And then back to the center. And then pull both knees away from both elbows. For 3, 2, and 1. Hug them in. Hands come down on the floor. Lean forward. Belly pulls in. Heels pull up. Your variation of your throat.
What muscles that form the knee away from your
Your elbows. External rotation.
arms?
We're leaning into those fingers, maybe slightly looking forward. Take one leg away. And bring it back. And then take the other leg. Bring it back. And then both feet come down to the floor and straighten your legs. Rock your hips a little from side to side. Move your hands down on the floor. Feet about hips distance apart. I'm gonna walk my left hand a little to the left. Right finger grab onto the right big toe. We lift it up and out to the side. Outer hip. Hold it up there. For 3. 2. And 1 back to center.
That's a lot of time.
I know. Oh, it's my concentration. Your breaths that we're counting. Super slow breaths, yoga breaths. Good. Right hand down to the floor, left hand grab onto the left hand. So that right hand probably goes out to the right a little bit. And then lifting that left leg up and out to the left side. You're standing like you're strong. Roll that thigh out. Don't just lean in your head. Make your butt cheek do that work. Hold it out. For 3. Come on, lift it up. 2. Hold it out again. And 1. What fun, it would be so hard. Good. Oh, we're gonna work the crow pose on the side crow. And that, this like lifting up is what we need. So what we just did here, I'm holding this up and out to the side. The leg in the air is trying to squeeze this like side butt cheek. And the thing that's preventing you from like just leaning into your side is the same thing on this side. So both outer butt cheeks are working. So in your side crow, if you're super flexy and rotation, you can lean. Elbow on the hip and the knee and tip into it. And then try to lift one knee up. And the The leg that's sitting on my shelf that I create, I could just sit it here and lift the top leg up. Or I can push that leg that's on the shelf down. It gets me like stronger in that position. If you're less flexy, you're going out in this straight line. I have a line here, my toes and my fingers, and I'm going in that direction. When I go in that direction, the hand that's reaching can't even touch the floor yet. But as it comes over, then I press down. One leg lifts up, the other leg presses down. And then I'm only on one arm, but the other arm is not dead in the water. It's still holding and squeezing in. Give it a try. You want to get your body weight up a little higher, put your feet on the block. It gets you up a little higher. Either variation of curl. Finding those side butt cheeks. Weights in the fingers. Arms, fingers grip. Belly pulling in and up. Where did it go? Maybe what we're working towards is your confidence or the strength of your arms or building your bone density. When we find whatever it is there. Yes! Head off the floor. Head off the floor. Head off the floor. And if you did one side, then you guys do the other side. You're strong enough to do the one. What? Try the one. I don't know what you're talking about. One that goes this way instead of like this. It's that this way.
Oh, I don't know about
Thanks, Josh.
Wait.
That's what I said. I don't know what you thought with that. Yeah. Elbow squeeze in. One leg pushes down.
Both legs are pushing out.
Let's see, give it a try on both sides. And when you've had enough,
Come to a seated position.
where's the nice?
I think I'm strong enough for my wrist line. Your wrists are like, what? Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Oh, yeah. Good. After you've done both, come to a seated position. Dandasana staff pose. So in Dandasana, the legs are out long out in front of you. You sit up tall, shoulders over the hips, belly pulling in, hands can be at your side. And squeeze the shoulder blades together, follow the belly in. And it might just be like hard practicing sitting even. Good, on an inhale, both arms up towards the sky, reach up. Exhale, hands as far as you can from your hips, out over those legs. And as you forward fold over those legs, if you're like, oh, gonna round in the back, maybe you bend the knees a little bit. Lay that chest down on the thighs. Find those hip flexors, squeezing towards your hip and thigh bones together. Doesn't matter if you touch your toes or not.
On your inhale, coming all the way back up to the spine.
Good, bring the soles of the feet together, let those knees go out wide. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, to fold. Good, on an inhale, coming all the way back. And we're gonna move those feet forward a little bit, so it's like a wider diamond that you create with the feet. So the feet move towards the top of the mat a little bit. Sitting up nice and tall again. Big inhale. Exhale, and forward. In this knee position. So some people like blocks underneath their thigh bones because it gives their body a sense of like the floor. Otherwise, we're just trying to use those outer hip muscles, turn those feet down. And then sending your chest out towards the feet from the hips as much as possible. The next stage, relax. And all of the work is happening in those hip flexors. Tipping. On your next inhale, and all the way back up. This time, move those feet again forward so they're out as far as they can, but you're keeping the feet together, the soles of the feet together. Yep. Right arm can go under the right leg. Left arm can go under the left leg. Maybe you reach for your ankles. Maybe you reach your hands back for your butt cheeks. Reach for your butt. Whatever you might like, you're drawing yourself down. Imagine with your forehead coming towards the throat. Finding that deep rotation of the thighs. And the feeling of your chest reaching out. As you go. And then bring yourself back up to the center. Pulling those arms out, one under the other, both legs out nice and long. Good, back to that Dandasana. This time I want you to find the squeeze of your ankles together and the knees look at each other, the big toes touch. So once again, you can find a little bend in the knees, but I want you to keep that inner thigh squeezing as you forward fold out over your legs.
Like squeeze my finger. Yes, keep that feeling.
Good, 2 more breaths. Inhale. Refine leg. Exhale. Squeeze soften. Last one. Inhale. Good, and you're now rising all the way back up to the
And this time, take your legs out as wide as you can take them. Grab a hold of the block if you don't have one already. For your hands, if you want to sit on one tree, you can. That's fine.
Good.
Good, as you sit up nice and tall, take the block with your hands, reach it up over your head, fingers over the top. Yeah, so the block is held, fingers over the top, wrist pulling in. Good. Now, take that block behind your head as best you can. Arms squeezing in towards your head. Elbows squeezing in towards your head. Yes. Good. Big inhale. Our block is straight up, elbows squeezing towards your head, and then the block goes like back behind you. So it's going to the back while your elbows are straight and they squeeze in. Inhale. Exhale, tip to your right. You keep the shoulders stacked, one or the other. I don't care how far you go. Keep squeezing those elbows in towards your head. Good. Keep rolling those thighs out. Hold. Thighs engaged. Make them strong. Press those thigh bones down into the earth. Reach for 3. 2. And 1. Use the strength of your abs to pull yourself back up. Arms reach up. Block pulls back. Elbows hug in. Other side. Both sides stay strong. Stay strong. For 3, 2, and 1. All the way back up. Woo. Good. Put the block on. And behind your head, elbows nice and wide. Shoulder legs squeeze together so your back is engaged. Now with that kind of engagement that you've had, I want you to tip your right elbow down towards the floor. It doesn't have to touch. As far as you can. And then come back up to center, behind your leg though. Yeah, and then pull yourself back up to center. So when I'm doing these, I could and get nothing. Okay? I could be like, yeah, I could do these forever, it doesn't matter. Or I can be as long and straight as I can, find my engagement, hold it, and then use it to come back up. And that's totally different. Okay? So you're finding the muscles and moving slowly with them, holding that edge, and then pulling to come back up nice and soft. Elbows stay, one stacked on top of the other. Back squeezing. Go ahead, and it doesn't matter how far you go. Just tipping from side to side. I'm not counting them out as reps because I want you to move slow. Get that top elbow back more. Yes, yes, yes. From the back of the shoulder. Yeah, and then back. Chest stays tall, shoulders squeeze. And tip. And then roll into come back up. Your thighs stay strong, 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 strong. Squeeze. Good, and if you need to get the other side, just even yourself out. If you went to one and then the other, you take the other side. And we got one more to the middle. So if you need a little break in those legs, you might shake them out a bit, bring them in. And then when you're ready, take them back out and forward fold.
So when you're forward folding, I want you to go down so your legs stay strong and your chest keeps reaching forward. So in the same way, you could like collapse and like hang. I want you to like reach and pull those legs back behind you. Make your thighs active. I want to see the muscles. And then walking that chest forward. As far as you can. Okay.
And nice and slow, bring yourself back up to center. Legs come together. Facing up forward.
Good, hugging those legs in towards each other. So you just worked on like pulling them apart. One more forward fold.
Out over those legs. Thighs rolling in, ankles squeezing in. Toes pulling back towards your face. When you're ready, back up to your side.
And we're gonna take a few roll downs and roll back ups. So hands are coming out in front of you. Just like before, you're only going as far as you can pull yourself back. So if I go all the way down to the floor and my arms go over my head, I'm still engaged in my belly. I never like come out and arch my back. I'm still in this position. And then from there, I'm gonna not rock, but pull myself back up to the center. And then arms reach to the sky. We're working that back of the shoulder strength. You tip from the hips. You roll down, one bit at a time. Roll, roll, roll. When you get to your bottom, you pull back up. Never lose the work in your abs. And that's like an honesty thing for you, you know, like, oh, am I still working in my abs, or did I lose that engagement? I'd rather you go like partial way down and keep the engagement than go all the way down and lose it. We're finding those edges. Staying consistent with the discipline, the edges, the things we want to feel. Accurate self-assessment. The next time you lower down, stay down. Thank God, right? Oh, stay down? Okay, we can do that. Good, bring the soles of the feet down to the floor.
Good. Hands come to the floor alongside your head, fingers face your shoulders, palms press down. Squeeze your elbows in. Good. Lift the hips up like bridge. Press down to the hands, lift up onto the crown of the head. Almost wheel. And then on an exhale, straighten those arms. Squeeze those elbows in. Wheel. Or almost wheel. And in your own time, lower back down, up the middle, lower down. Don't roll across your head. Little rest, we give it one more try. So if you did your wheel and you're like, well, that was a lot, don't want to do that again, you don't have to. Stay in the bridge pose. You feel good about what you were doing, do a little more. So rising up, hands go to the back, hips lift up, or hands go by your head, face fingers face the shoulder, palms down, squeeze the elbows in. Good, lift the hips up on the front of the head, and then straighten the arms as best you can. Squeeze those elbows in towards each other. And rotate from the arm. Rotate. 2. And 1. Up and over back. Release down. Feel a little ease in the back. Anything that feels good here for you. Maybe you bring your knees into your chest and from side to side. We're going to take both knees to the right. Left arm to the left. Back through center, opposite side. Both knees to the left, right arm to the right. Back through center, knees over the chest. Forehead towards the knees, give yourself a squeeze in. Good, reach your arms overhead, legs on, stretch yourself out, fingers to the toes. Stretch out. Good, fingers to heels, feel that stretch in the back side of the body. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good, and then exhale, releasing for your Shavasana. And pick your hips up and set them back down. Pick your shoulders up, go a little further up. Find a place that you can allow yourself to let go.